morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. We're here with our Friday news dump. That's right, we're going to tell you all the news stories you need to hear before the weekend so you don't have to worry about it. This is the first and only international game show, Before Coffee, a father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our body and we're learning to read and speak live on stream. Let's get into those Friday headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on Friday's News Dump, let's celebrate the Centennial of Route 66.
Let's do it.
That's it.
That was it? Oh. And a Texas woman sues Trinidad, Texas, the city, over arrest tied to Facebook post. And Jeff Bezos loses another one as a Blue Origin rocket explodes during test launch.
With a stalemate in Ukraine and discontent at home, Putin seems ready to escalate his war. And Colombia chooses Gustavo Petro's successor with a health system on the verge of collapse.
Yes, as Russia bombs Romania for some reason. Oh, sorry. And a former CIA officer took home gold bars. Well, great work if you can get it.
In my culture news, Harpo speaks. New recordings reveal mute Mark's brother chatting with audience, as if we didn't know he could talk the whole time.
Yeah, he's been dead for a while. National Paperclip Day today. That's right, it's National Paperclip Day. If you're having trouble holding your papers together, that's an obvious solution. It is also 529 Day for some. Oh yeah, it's May 29th, 2026 on Before Coffee.
It's time for the last Friday of May, basically. But it is.
It's never been easier to help save for a child's future. That's what it says on National 5. It's never been easier? Oh my lord. Yeah, if you're rich, it's never been easier.
It was definitely easier maybe in the 90s or something.
What kind of propaganda is that? What kind of horseshit propaganda is that? It's never been easier to save for your child's future. No, that's not true. That's just complete horseshit. In 1960, you could send your kid to college for like $300. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Never been easier. What a load of crap.
They're saying saving is easy. Getting them out to do anything with is hard. Actually saving them out.
I'm boycotting National 529 Day because it's a complete lie. Never been easier. Get the hell out of here.
All right, let's roll our first segue.
I could buy in 1960. I could buy my house in a 10-year mortgage. 30-year mortgages weren't even a thing in 1960. You know, just it's never been easier to do this and that. Get that, Please. I'm sorry.
Bad pun is our first segue.
What do we get?
Bad pun.
Bad pun, okay.
These first stories are about the centenary celebration of Route 66. And I have two stories here. The first one is from Noel Brennan on CBS News. A couple from Tulsa, Oklahoma is recreating the trip they made a quarter century ago in a century-old car. Kicking things off at a symbolic start of Route 66 at Navy Pier, they didn't have to travel very far for the adventure. Where Route 66 begins, so too does a love story. Ed and Jackie Fogel got married and immediately put in the miles. That's such a Midwest name too, Fogel. Hi, where are you from? The Midwest somewhere. My name's Fogel.
Fogel.
It's too
German name.
Yeah, it's for me, it's just like screams Midwest American.
Fogel.
Let's just do Route 66. We grew up on it, didn't we? Ed said. They hit the road for their honeymoon from Chicago to Santa Monica in their 1959 Cadillac convertible, with top down every inch of the way, Ed said. As Route 66 celebrates 100 years, the Fogels mark a milestone as their own. 25 years of marriage this June. Now they're ready for Route 66 again. But this time, let's do it in a 100-year-old, what's called an orphan car, Ed said. It's a 1926 Hupmobile. So, how many miles does the car have on it? Well, that's a mystery, as according to Ed, the speedometer, odometer, and fuel gauge don't work anymore. The Fogels towed it in on a trailer from Tulsa, Oklahoma to Chicago with the help from a friend and mechanic, Tom Lord. Lord doesn't feel like a third wheel if the Fogels didn't really need him. The 100-year-old Hupmobile had the hiccups. It was okay right down to the idle, and then it went over, Ed said. Lord tinkers and consults with a fellow mechanic on the phone and the carburetor that appeared to be the culprit. Ed arranges an Uber trip for the car parts, and Jackie tries to enjoy the first unexpected bump on the road. The mechanics didn't really need my help, so I'll just look at the beautiful scenery here at Navy Pier, she said jokingly. The adventure didn't start the way they planned, but whether it's thousands of miles or just a few feet, they pushed through it together. That's going to be good enough. The good news is that despite the setback, the Fogels finally got the car started and have hit the road on Route 66. I can speak. Of course, I think they've actually finished this. This journey, because this was an article from the 21st of April, so I think they actually completely finished their journey, and they made it all the way there. No, I read that they did, but it was a very short, it was just they went on a journey, they made it 3 sentences of a story. I wanted to read an actual long story about this trip, but maybe they'll release a little travel book or something. My trip down Route 66 in the Hupmobile. And more news on Route 66. This is coming from May 27th on News on N6. News on N6, so a local news channel by Brooke Cox. New gateway monuments are part of Tulsa's broader Route 66 beautification effort as the city prepares for the international tour tied to its Centennial. Tulsa city leaders unveiled a new Welcome to Tulsa gateway sign Tuesday, which would have been the 26th of May. At the Route 66 Historical Village, as the city ramps up preparations for the 2026 Route 66 Centennial celebration. The new monument is one of the 2 major gateway signs intended to mark key entrances into Tulsa as city officials promote tourism tied to the historic highway's 100th anniversary. Too bad gas prices are so high, huh?
Yeah,
the key takeaways are...
Go to an 100-year-old electric car.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Mayor Monroe Nichols said the signs are meant to showcase Tulsa's Route 66 identity as the city prepares for increased tourism. This lighting ceremony marks another exciting step towards the Route 66 Centennial, the opportunity we have to showcase Tulsa on an international stage, Nichols said. The west sign is located near Yukon Avenue and Southwest Boulevard, just south of I-244 at the Route 66 Historical Village. The east sign is being installed near I-44 and I-244, split east of 129th East Avenue. Each structure stands about 42 feet tall and includes illuminated design elements intended to reflect Tulsa's Art Deco history and Route 66 heritage. City officials said the signs feature a 66-degree design reference tied to the historic roadway. The project is part of Tulsa's larger beautification and tourism investment strategy. According to the city, Tulsa voters approved $11 million in 2016 Vision Tulsa package for citywide and Route 66 beautification projects. About $3.7 million of that funding was designated for the gateway signage alone. Wow, that's crazy. That's an expensive sign. City officials said the larger initiative could eventually include up to 42 signs across Tulsa, depending on construction costs and available funding. District 8 City Councilor Phil Locken said the project has been in years of development. For as long as I can remember, I wanted people to feel something special the moment they enter Tulsa, Blacken said. City officials have not announced a timeline for future monument constructions. The East Tulsa sign installation is ongoing. You could probably go out there right now and see it get put up. You know? Get yourself some iced tea. Get a chair and just sit there and watch them build a sign or put a sign up. You can find more information about the Tulsa Route 66 initiatives on the City of Tulsa website, which I don't know if there's actually anything. They're celebrating it. They're enhancing the road, and that's all we've got so far.
All you can do for celebrating that is drive. That's about all you can do. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There ain't no freaking. I mean, what? I mean, experience. Put yourself 100 years ago and try to think back and go, wow. I don't know.
I mean, we drove on Route 66 a couple times, not the whole thing, but we stopped by it sometimes. Yeah.
It runs parallel to Interstate 40 between Tulsa and Los Angeles, basically. Tulsa and Barstow. In Barstow, you pick up 15, I believe it is. Yeah.
Yeah, when we drove to New Mexico, we'd stop by.
When we lived in California, we took it. When we lived in New Mexico, we took it. It goes through Albuquerque, of course. And you get to Tulsa, it becomes Interstate 55 all the way up to Chicago. And Milwaukee, for some reason, they leave Milwaukee out of it. Even though Milwaukee insists that they're part of Route 66, they even got signs everywhere. But Chicago insists. There's your rivalry right there. Chicago insists it starts in Chicago. Milwaukee insists, hey, you can't start there because we're north of you, right? And I'm sure they don't argue about it, but definitely go to Milwaukee, you'll see Route 66 stuff. Yeah, we got Interstate 55 too, damn it. Maybe they don't. I think it's 94 there. Anywho, that's your non sequitur. Your bad pun. They've been their last trip was 25 years ago, right? 2001. They have been ramping up for this since 2001. And another pun. They were not going to bypass this opportunity.
Oh no!
Road puns, not good puns, but road puns.
All right, let's go to our next segue spin.
Roll it hard and put away wet, as they say. As I feel like.
I have to tell some jokes.
Yokes about. We got yokes. We got yokes. Two jokes. We're jokesters this morning. Texas woman in Trinidad, Texas. We're staying around that area of the world. I'm sorry, Trinidad is not in the panhandle of Texas. It's near Dallas. So
in the middle of Texas, for anybody who doesn't know their Texas geography.
It's out there. It's out there in tornado country where they refuse to admit that it's tornado country and build storm cellars. That part of the Texas. Tornadoes every year. Wichita Falls, probably. It says North Texas.
I really should put hating Texas on our bingo board.
I keep forgetting that Dallas is considered North Texas because it's like, less than 2 hours from Oklahoma City. It's like 2 hours. It's less than 2 hours from the border. It's less than an hour from the border, really. Texas woman sues Trinidad over arrest tied to Facebook posts after posting allegations that dirty water in North Texas town. Oh, sorry. Saul Pink has the story for expressnews.com. And this is the San Antonio newspaper. After posting allegations of dirty water, oh, we love that dirty water, except when we want to drink.
Yeah.
After posting allegations that the dirty water in North Texas town of Trinidad was harming residents, Jennifer Combs was arrested for spreading false information, which was not false information. She's now suing the town and police chief. North Texas woman is suing city of Trinidad, a town of less than 1,000 people, southeast of Dallas. So it's not north of Dallas. Dallas is still North Texas.
Small town crime, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Texas, the sheriff has too much power, full of himself. After police arrested her for a Facebook post warning of potential health problems arising from the town's water. In April, Jennifer Combs took to her Facebook page, Southern Bell Watch, which is the phone company, sounds like Southern Bell, and a self-described, maybe Southern Bell runs the water too, I don't know, self-described independent investigative media platform. Good for her. With information about the water. So you're arresting people for being reporters now. I got it. She alleged that residents have been hospitalized. She alleged that residents have been hospitalized due to bacteria in the water and encouraged residents to let her know if their water was discolored, has a strong odor, if they experience health-related issues. The Trinidad Police Department quickly pushed back on Combs' allegations in their own posts online. The department said Combs posting false information and warned that raising false alarm involves public service like a municipal water system constitutes felony. The department claimed that discoloration of water was caused by sediment, rust, and minerals in the old water lines. And who fucking cares what's caused by? She's bringing attention to it. You know?
Also, she interviewed people who were in the hospital, right?
She didn't make a claim that she knew why. She just said it was discolored. And they're acting like, oh, well, there's a reason for it. Well, good, there's a reason for it. That's nice. She still didn't break the law. Anyway, about a month later, Trinidad police arrested Combs on a felony charge of false alarm report. 2 days later, Trinidad Police Chief Charles Gregory, I'm a fascist, called the case cut and dry. No, it's cut and dry. It's you're an asshole. That's all it's cut and dry. It said Combs' claims are simply false and have only caused unnecessary fear and confusion in our community. You're the one that's only person fear and confusion, and that's you, and that's your department. You're the one that's fearing for your job, and you're confused because you're an idiot. Those two things are your problem, not everybody else's. Everybody else is like, yeah, my water sucks, and I know it sucks. People aren't sitting around in their house going, here's the way these, here's my sidebar. Here's what these assholes think. People are sitting around their living room with their shitty water and their shitty, why does my water stink? Why do I take a shower? I got to take another shower in a neighbor's house or whatever. And I got to hose myself off with fucking bottled water later because my shower doesn't fucking clean me. People are sitting around wondering this thing and they see a Facebook post that confirms their fears. It ain't like people are living in a fucking shell wondering if their water is discolored. There ain't no such thing as that. People know what their water is like. They're not stupid. They're not waiting for the official government word to tell them what their water is like. Okay, done with my sidebar. Mrs. Combs did not fabricate an emergency. She did not summon emergency responses. Combs filed a federal lawsuit Tuesday in Eastern District of Texas. They had the criminal charges dismissed entirely in a 43-page complaint. Combs' lawyers wrote, they did 43 pages, a lot of pages. Hopefully these guys can read while they're just making false claims. Lawyers wrote that the arrest was political retaliation designed to stop people from speaking out the city's water problems. Mrs. Combs did not fabricate an emergency. She did not summon emergency responders. She did not trigger evacuations, Combs' lawyer wrote. She reported accurately in good faith what community members had told her about the safety of their water, performing the most basic and constitutionally valued function of a journalist. Combs' lawyer names Gregory, another police officer, and a city council member in the city of Trinidad as a whole as defendants. None had filed a response as of May 23rd. On Thursday, a grand jury declined to indict Combs, but her prosecutors may continue to pursue charges against her. And charges for what exactly? What would the charges be? What are the charges be? Talking about how shitty the water is? Yeah, let's clamp down on free speech. We're the government. We can't have people talking. The city issued a boil water advisory roughly 2 weeks after April. So she made it up out of whole cloth, but in 2 weeks of drinking that water, people are like, yeah, the water still sucks. And then 2 weeks later, they go, oh, yeah, you got to boil your water because it's not safe. Mm-hmm. So she's 100% accurate. 100% accurate. She was not raising a false alarm. This guy who had her arrested needs to be put in federal prison for violating constitutional rights of citizens. He should not ever hold a position ever again in any authority. The city issued a boil water advisory. The Texas Commission of Environmental Quality investigating a complaint about water quality in Trinidad. Yeah, there's nothing to see, right? Gregory said the boil water advisory was put in place as a precautionary measure. Oh, right. Because why? Because of low chlorine residual levels in parts of the water system. So you have trouble with your water system, and you're admitting it. Hello? I mean, I didn't even know why you arrested this poor woman. She's just trying to get the water clean. Is that a problem for you fucking clowns? I made this page after seeing citizens publicly share concerns about the water in the community, Combs wrote, after the grand jury declined to indict her. I asked questions, gathered information, refused to ignore people. It felt like nobody was listening. Her lawyer's trying to get test kits so residents can test the water themselves. Wow! The lawyer's trying to get test kits. How hard could that be, you know? Hello, EPA. That used to be a thing in this country. There's your fun little story. I hope we have fun about bureaucratic overreach and fascism. That's always
no puns thing. Because I'm telling jokes. That's technically those are different.
Puns are jokes. Sorry, puns are jokes. Sort of.
All right, I've got 3 actually. First one. Right. A raindrop fell from the sky, landed in a polluted stream, and it immediately tried to climb back up. Nope, not doing this. It said, "I was promised a peaceful descent, not a chemical bath. Water pollution doesn't just contaminate it, it breaks contracts with the clouds."
Wow, that's a real in-depth pun.
I told you, it's a joke, not puns. Why do you understand that?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Joke, gotcha.
The level of pollution in the world today is becoming intolerable. Only the other day, I opened a can of sardines to find it was full of oil and all the fish were dead.
Ah!
The residents of a town are fed up with all the pollution from factories, littering, and toxic waste. Finally, a townsperson says, "We need Captain Planet." A moment later, a superhero-looking dude shows up and says, "Did someone summon me?" The townspeople rejoice and cheer for their new savior. The superhero gathers everyone together and puts together a basic strategy to fight the pollution. Then he says, "Have fun, I'm out of here." The townspeople are confused and ask him, "Well, wait, when do you start doing all this?" He replies, "Me? I don't do anything. You called for Captain Planet."
Oh, yeah, there's a pun. You got a pun in there. There you go.
I was telling jokes, not puns. I don't know why you're obsessed with me telling a pun.
I got a pun. You still told a pun. Okay, so next story.
Next story.
You only required to do one joke for this. We're going to talk about blowing up rockets. So the shorter story, I think. AP News has a story. This happened late last night. Blue Origin rocket explodes during a test launch on a launch pad. Marcia Dunn of AP. A rocket belonging to Jeffy Bezos, Blue Origin, exploded during a test launch pad Thursday night, shaking nearby homes and briefly painting the sky orange. Kaboom, it said. Blue Origin said its new Glenn rocket exploded during the engine firing test being conducted ahead of a satellite launch planned for next week. No one was hurt, according to officials at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Oh, God, Space Force. Can we get rid of Space Force? What a stupid, it's just absolute fucking unnecessary garbage. Space Force. I can't believe that's a thing. It's like something out of a comic book. It's too early to know the root cause, but we're already working to find it. Bezos said via X. A very rough day, but we'll rebuild whatever needs to be rebuilt.
Doing a lot of work.
Yeah. We, as in not me at all.
Yeah.
The massive new Glenn was grounded in April after it left the satellite in a wrong orbit because of engine failure. It was only the third flight of rocket that Blue Origin. Can we just get out of the Blue Origin business, Bezos? Just do something useful for your money. You're not accomplishing a damn thing. You're getting government money to blow shit up. Yay! It was only the third flight of a rocket that Blue Origin intends to use to launch landers to the moon for NASA, including landers that will take astronauts to the lunar surface. Oh, I'm getting on board that rocket if I'm an astronaut. I don't think so. The company had been on track to launch a prototype lunar lander on the moon in a flight test this fall. Earlier this week, the space agency awarded Blue Origin a contract worth hundreds of millions of dollars to launch a pair of moon buggies in the next few years as part of the Artemis program. Spaceflight is unforgiving, and developing a new heavy lift launch capability is extraordinarily difficult. Of course it is. Why you need to do it? We have no idea why we're doing this at all. It doesn't really accomplish a whole hell of a lot, but I guess it makes everybody feel good. He promised to provide information on any impacts to the Artemis program, including the moon base that recently outlined. Moon base sounds like a freaking pipe dream to me. I'm skeptical about the whole thing, but whatever. Space travel, let's find something useful to do in space travel. Going to the moon, you can't live in the moon. There's no gravity there. There's no air. Inside the moon, maybe, but why spend our money on that? I just don't get it. Homes shook in nearby Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach around 9 p.m., and residents turning to social media to wonder what happened. Launch Complex 36 is visible from the beach. Okay, yeah. And the internet quickly filled with photos of the orange fireball. Ooh. And of course, don't forget the shockwave that comes after that, right? Every time you launch a rocket, you're going, ooh, look at that thing in the sky. And then it's like 3 minutes after a launch and you're 5 miles away from the launch, and all of a sudden a big old freaking shockwave comes across the land and just knocks you on your ass. The rocket was supposed to blast off next week with internet satellites that are part of the Amazon Leo constellation in orbit. The emergency crews remain more than a half hour. Space Force officials, or Space Face, or whatever they're calling themselves, Space Force or Space Face officials said that the explosion would not affect upcoming launches by other companies from the pads. When United Launch Alliance's Atlas 4 rocket is due to blast off Friday night with a batch of Amazon's Leo satellites, the same kind that this rocket was supposed to take up. SpaceX's Elon Musk, who had his own share of rocket explosions.
Hello, Nico.
Let's leave his personal life out of this. Sorry to see this. I hope you recover quickly. Or whatever. We billionaires all giving each other the circle jerk. There's your quick Blue Origin. Blue Origin!
Space Force circle jerk.
Toys. Yeah. More billionaires blowing up their toys for their projects that nobody gives a fuck about. Let's
Hey, Jeff Bezos, next time can you fly that phallic-looking rocket up Uranus? First joke. That's an easy joke. Elon Musk's DM to a hot girl. Will send pics of my rocket, lots of thrusts. Get up fast, wink wink. Girl responds, would be nice if it didn't explode after 2 minutes. So sad. So sad.
Jeff Bezos.
Not a billionaire-based joke. Why didn't NASA name Apollo rockets with letters?
Don't know.
Because if Apollo F crashed with all its crew, they would have had to make an Apollo G.
Oh.
Apollo G. I love that for me.
Reluctantly cheering for that on our side.
Let's roll our next segue. Nothing more to say about that.
No, that's all, man. Rockets blowing up and undrinkable water and fascist governments.
Non sequitur is our next segue for my stories. Speaking of fascist governments, Russia. Yep, that's right. We gotta talk my weekly, if not multi-weekly, Russia tirade that I have. Because I do live in Europe and I don't want to get invaded by Russia. This is on the Associated Press. Facing a battlefield stalemate in Ukraine and growing war fatigue among Russians, dictator Vladimir Putin appears ready to try to change the narrative around the conflict. He looks likely to sharply escalate the Russian aerial attacks on Ukrainian capital in the hope it will shore up his sagging domestic approval ratings and persuade an increasingly pessimistic audience, at home, that Moscow is winning the war. Now in its 5th year, we are totally winning the war, just like the United States won the war in Afghanistan and Iraq, right? Just like that. Russia's warning to carry out consistent and systematic missile strikes on Kyiv, accompanied by a call for evacuating foreign embassies from the capital, signals Putin's intention to expand Russia's barrage despite the heavy costs and potential international outrage. Massive drills of Russian nuclear forces earlier this month, and a series of belligerent statements from Moscow warning Kyiv's European allies about possible retaliation for what the Kremlin cast as their involvement in Ukrainian drone attacks have underlined Putin's intention up the ante. After a series of gains last year, Russia's advances along the over 1,000 kilometer 600-mile front line have ground to a near halt recently. And Ukraine's armed forces have launched successful counterstrikes and reclaimed some ground. That's not very winning the war, is it, Putin? The character of the war is shifting in favor of Ukraine forces, at least for now, the Washington-based Institute for Study of War said in a recent analysis. Russian forces' rates of advance are stagnating, while Ukrainian forces are employing novel tactics and operational concepts in an effort to break out of positional warfare. The battlefield gridlock undermines Putin's declared goal of quickly capturing the eastern Donetsk region still under Ukrainian control. So much for that plan, huh, Putin? Kyiv has rejected his demands to withdraw from the region as a condition for a ceasefire. At the same time, Ukraine has significantly expanded its long-range strikes on Russian energy facilities and armed factories, inflicting increasing damage. Putin scaled down the annual May 9th Victory Day parade because what victory are they celebrating? Fearing Ukrainian drone strikes. Days later, a massive drone attack on Moscow's suburbs killed 3 and showed that even the densely protected capital isn't fully immune from assault, shattering Kremlin efforts to cast the conflict as something distant that doesn't affect ordinary Russians. Which is exactly why Vladimir Zelensky wanted so badly to actually strike back. Or if you remember at the beginning of the war, the EU and NATO and everyone was like, we'll support you as long as you don't attack Russia back. And then after like the 3rd year in the war, they're like, okay, you can attack Russia back because they're not stopping and they're not winning either. If Russia had won the war within like 3 years, yeah, this wouldn't have been a problem. But they didn't. So now they're gonna have to take the brunt of attacking a country you get attacked back. Or Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said that the attacks were significantly changing the situation and more broadly the world's perception of Russia's war. Acknowledging the growing threat of Ukraine's deep strikes, Russian lawmakers this week approved a bill that says the country's banks should bear the cost of installing drone jamming systems on their premises rather than relying on the military. From Russia's perspective, these attacks are just getting worse, said Thomas Withington of the Royal United Service Institute in London. He added that Ukraine's increasingly audacious drone attacks were exacting not only a political but an economic cost in Russia. Russia's economy has stagnated as the initial boost from massive military spending has petered out. The government has raised taxes and increased domestic borrowing to keep the budget deficit under control, and even though the U.S. war in Iran has meant windfall oil revenues for Russia, fundamental economic challenges remain. Putin is expected to play down the negative dynamics of next week's International Economic Forum in St. Petersburg, an annual event intended to showcase Russia's achievements. Nigel Gould-Davies of the London-based International Institute for Strategic Studies said in an analysis that fueled high prices of capital, labor and goods, as well as raising taxes, have begun to depress the civilian sectors, resulting in a dual economy of overheated military output and civilian stagnation. People are not feeling good about being in a war. While Russia has relied on volunteer soldiers to fight the war, offering them comparatively high wages and other benefits, Gould-Davies argued that there are signs that this incentive may no longer be working effectively, and that Russia has begun to lose more troops than it can recruit. To sustain the war, the Kremlin will have to forcibly mobilize human and material resources, requiring it to curtail the last remaining post-Soviet market freedoms, labor freedoms, and freedom of movement, he said. In a sign of brewing discontent, some social media influencers previously loyal to Kremlin have started to openly criticize the government policies. A move by authorities to restrict cell phone and internets and block popular messaging apps has upset daily routines for millions, causing open grumbling. Natalia Kasperskaya, a prominent IT entrepreneur and staunch Kremlin supporter, harshly criticized the shutdowns and attempts to block virtual private networks, also known as VPNs, warning that they cause massive damage to the tech sector. Tatiana Stanovaya, a Russian expert who founded the R Politik newsletter focused on Kremlin politics, noted the spreading Ukrainian drone attacks along with mobile internet shutdowns and rising taxes have eroded Putin's standing, while he faces no immediate threats to his role. The gradual fading of Putin's credibility is real, she says. So let's skip to the end of this article. On Monday, the Russian foreign minister said Moscow will launch consistent and systematic strikes on Kyiv, target drone-making facilities and decision-making centers. It urged foreign diplomats to leave the capital and demand rejected by Ukraine's allies. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov called U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio to warn him of the coming strikes and pushed for the evacuation of diplomats. The danger is that all of these wars, and they continue, and they go on, and that is always the threat of escalation. Expanding into something new, Rubio told reporters after the call. Okay, whatever. I guess we can blame Russia for the Iran war. That's fair. Moscow-based military analyst Sergei Polotev said Russia sees a shortage of air defense assets in Kyiv as an opportunity. Kyiv's air defense has been exhausted enough to make a massive attack efficient, he said in a recent commentary. Accompanying the declared blitz on Kyiv, Russia issued a barrage of threats aimed at Ukraine's European allies. The Defense Ministry published a list of facilities in Europe that it said were involved in manufacturing drones and their components for Ukraine. And Moscow's Foreign Intelligence Service warned the Baltic nations that their NATO membership won't protect them from Moscow's retaliation if they allow Ukraine to launch attacks from their territories. Those allies have denounced Moscow's claims. We are actually very, very close to direct military confrontation, said Dmitry Polansky, Russia's envoy to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. And of course, you mentioned this earlier during a pre-show, right? They already are drone attacking Romania and killing people in Romania. They've been drone attacking Poland and Latvia. Yeah. So... Bless you.
Was that the story? Was that over?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, it's over.
I had to cough. Sorry, I had to cough, man. I had to hit my cough button, hit the dump button. Dump button doesn't really work that fast. All right, so my non sequitur, of course, is, wow, is it year 5 already? Year 5! Yeah. It's going to be one of them wars like Afghanistan, right? Remember 1979?
Exactly.
And, you know, Russia, we have our Vietnam, Russia has their Afghanistan. Did all of those people die that remember Afghanistan? Are they all dead? They're just all dead, right? I know Putin was around for Afghanistan because he's older than me. Everybody else is dead? I mean, that's my non sequitur. You're all clown. You're all idiots.
I remember when it happened.
Country,
people genuinely thought Russia was going to win, like, instantly. Right. That's what the people thought. People thought Russia was going to instantly win the war, and it has not happened because Ukrainians are not pushovers. But yeah, he should be kicked out of office at this point.
From the United States point of view, we're going to quickly win this war. See, Korean War still isn't over. The Vietnam War, I don't know, what did that last in the 50s all the way to 75. Not only lost that, but lost Cambodia too, which wasn't even in the war at the start. And what else? Oh, let's see. Iraq lasted 20 years. Afghanistan, 20 years. Iran, we have no exit plan. No plan to begin with, actually. So dictators are morons. They do this to change the conversation, increase their popularity,
or make deals with each other.
Yeah, and there's no election to speak of. They're just, trying to consolidate power.
If it came out that Putin and Trump made a deal, to invade Iran or whatever, he blackmailed Trump to do it, I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be a surprise. It would be like, yeah, everyone knew this. This is not news.
This is a fact. Okay, once again, this is a certifiable fact. This is reported by the CIA, by agents in 2016 before Congress. Trump is being blackmailed by Russia. This is a known fact. Isn't disputed. I don't know why everybody acts like it isn't a thing.
It's weird that he can get elected because of that.
But it's obvious. Yeah. Go back and watch the testimony before a Republican frickin' committee was interviewing the guy. Goes, yeah, here's all I know about Russia, and he laid it on the table, and everybody just went back to their fucking coffee or whatever.
A lot of people weren't alive or paying attention back in like 2015 when all of the Republicans were like, "Ew, gross! Why is Trump running for president? We don't like that guy." So. Almost all of them were like, ew. Disgusted.
The most vociferous anti-Trumper in the history of anti-Trumpers was Lindsey Graham. What happened to
rolled
Lindsey
over
Graham?
like a dog.
Lindsey Graham.
Oh, please,
getting
Trumpy.
blackmailed by Russia. Getting blackmailed by Trump and Russia.
I do have.
Trump said, "Here's Trump taking." Trump took Lindsey Graham on a golf cart ride at his golf. Hey, let's go play golf. Lindsey took for no cameras around, no mics around. Just took him for a little walk. And hey, let's go sit over my golf ball here and see what's going on where there's no trees. And took Lindsey over there, pulled out some pictures and said, "They got pictures of you. They got pictures of me. We're gonna do whatever they say." Guaranteed that's what happened. Pictures, videos of whatever Lindsey's into, whatever kink he's into. We know he's not normal. We know that. Normal gay men just say they're gay, right? He wants to hide it. And he goes to Disneyland and by himself, at Disney World by himself, and comes up with like stuff that 5-year-old girl would buy. Stuff like that. It's just weird. Just a weirdo. Yeah, Lindsey, you're into some kinks. You're into some kinks, Lindsey. We don't know what it is. We hope there was no innocent people involved. That's all. All right. Anyway,
I have another story. Thank you.
Oh,
I do have another story.
Sorry.
Our next story is coming out of off the tracks. Our next story is about Colombia, in which they are trying to get somebody to leave the country as their health system collapses. This is on El País, which is a Spanish newspaper by Luke Reynoso. Has taken an unusual role in the campaign for the presidential elections of Colombia, whose first round is held this Sunday. Sunday being June 1st? No, June 1st is there Sunday?
June 1st, Monday.
No.
Monday.
May 31st. This May 31st is the elections for Colombia.
Monday, yeah. Good. Have it on a Sunday. Makes
indicate
sense.
that this sector, usually regulated from political discourse for its high grossing technicalities, has become the main concern of voters. The system is on the verge of collapse. Dispensaries deny drugs, hospitals close services, and specialists have no appointments available. No candidate denies the seriousness of the crisis. The political confrontation focuses on the causes. Some believe the fault lies with Gustavo Petro's government for defunding a system that requires minor adjustments, while supporters of the president say the reason is the corruption of private intermediaries that must be eliminated to create a total different scheme. The future of health polarizes millions of Colombians like never before. A poll agrees again and again that health concerns have soared in recent years. A survey published in February by the firm Guarumo revealed that 25% of citizens believe that it is the most serious problem in the country, above the 15.9% that they consider to be the insecurity and full escalation of the armed conflict, 15.4% who think it is corruption, and 11.1% that say it is the cost of living. Another measurement published in early May by the National Consulting Center points out that 37.1% of respondents consider health to be the main issue on which the next president should focus. Cesar Caballero, manager of the pollster Cifras and Conceptos, explained by telephone that the difficulties in accessing medical services affect a wide sector of the population. Colombia has other big problems, such as public order for the advancement of armed groups, but in the bulk of the cities that is not felt, he says. Candidates have given more prevalence space to health in their program and often mention it as the rescue of the system in the promises they make in the media. The crisis, of course, is not new, but it has deepened rapidly in recent years. The government has reduced the resources it turns to the Health Promotions Agency, EPS, the public or private insurers to which Colombians join to serve as their payers before clinics or doctors. The Constitutional Court established in early 2025 that the payment per capitation unit, UPC, the amount that the state pays to the EPS for each affiliate, was defunded in order to adjust it. The executive ignored the order on the grounds that his calculations are correct. Meanwhile, hospitals and clinics have stopped offering non-payment services. Pharmaceutical managers deny drugs they do have, but they know that the insurers won't pay them. According to our calculations, we don't need to pay the health services anything. Okay, well, I guess I just won't be able to afford to be a doctor anymore. The figures for the deterioration are strong. Patients' petitions, complaints, and claims have gone from 915 in 21 to 2.1 million, more than doubled in 4 years in 2025, according to the Superintendency of Health. Guardianship action, which users bring to justice for violation of their fundamental rights, have climbed from 92,000 in 21 to 313,000. That's way more than double. That's triple. So, hey, I haven't been able to get health care. Isn't that one of my rights to get health care? Hello? According to the Constitutional Court,
maybe not.
Private insurance, which is paid for as an additional supplement, which means they have mostly public health care, is what, right? This isn't a U.S. situation, right, where everything's private for the most part. Well, I guess in this case, this isn't a U.S. situation because that's exactly what they're turning into. They're turning into a insurance-reliant private health system in which prices have skyrocketed and they don't get any supplements for their health insurance, and so nobody can afford it, and nobody can afford the drugs, and then I guess everyone just dies. The financial situation of the EPS, meanwhile, is becoming increasingly precarious. An operational result went from 1.5 billion pesos in 21, which is about $470 million, to negative $470 million to negative $2.4 billion. That's how much in debt they've gone. And that's negative 8.7 billion pesos. Without taking into account the new EPS, the largest in the country with 11.5 million affiliates, it has not presented financial balance sheets since 23. They're hiding their financials because it's that bad. Although it is intervened by the government, which is also its majority owner. Beyond the hard data, the media reports daily stories of affected patients not getting care they need. Behind the crisis of the system, there's an ideological dispute. The president and his allies have always been fervent opponents of the reforms. In the 1990s, created the current model. The state stopped paying directly to the providers and went on to turn resources to insurers who manage the system and compete with each other in a theory to offer best services at the lowest cost. There were achievements such as extension of coverage from 23 to 99% because of this change, and an increase in state health spending, but also corruption and scandals, and a persistent difficulty to cover increasing costs. For Petro, the sector became a business. EPS, he usually criticizes in speeches, denies services that they consider expensive and prioritize hiring with their owners' clinics and hospitals. That's exactly what happens when you privatize healthcare. Wait a minute, we could get way more money if we make them go to the expensive doctors. Huh? Wait, what? And it points to the owners of the insurers, whom it defines as vampires, as those responsible for the financial blood. Indeed, that's what insurance companies do. They're vampires. This article goes for longer and longer, but let's just say it's very morbid, the health crisis in Colombia, and that is why experts are saying that health is very important to the electoral debate for the election that is happening this Sunday on the 31st of May. So hopefully, whoever they vote for will do something about it. Some people want to continue the reforms. Some people want to remake the whole entire system. Financial bailouts have been mentioned, and people are like, where are we getting the money for a financial bailout? We can't even, like we just said, right? They're negative 2.5 billion in debt to their health care service. They don't have any money to pay for it. So that's what they're arguing about on all these electoral debates. It's just like, that's not going to work. It's broken. We need to fix it. We need to remake it. We need to continue it. That's all the arguments they're giving here. I'm not going to read the 15 different paragraphs about every argument, but that's in general what they are. And that's your news from Colombia. It's a nice South American news.
Yeah, a lot to say about Colombia. My experience there, I used to go twice a year from about 2006 to 2000. Until I got fired. I used to go twice a year. I've had a lot of experience. I've had one experience going across the countryside without my passport being properly stamped, which was an adventure because the guy who was driving us was stopping for every checkpoint that didn't even look like an official checkpoint. In other words, there's guys standing along the this guy's slowing down for them all, going, I don't think that's a soldier. I don't think that's I don't think that, and we're like, I don't think that's a soldier. And they're not even wearing uniforms. They're just there with automatic weapons at a checkpoint, and this guy's slowing down for him. That happened over and over again. We're gonna get kidnapped. Yay. Anyway, that was a fun little trip. The other thing I want to get to is yes, Colombia is one of those places, South America, one of those places where plastic surgery is very cheap. In fact, plastic surgery is very common. Like in South America, it's like one of those ridiculously overly common things. Like you're getting your face fixed in South America, especially if you're a woman. You're getting your face fixed. You don't like your face for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why you need to fix it. That's what you look like.
Very cheap to get your face fixed in South America. A lot of people that have the birth conformities go to South America. You know, the deformities in their face. Did I say
Because they...
Deform. Yeah, it's cheaper. It's cheaper. The doctors do it all day long.
No, but it's probably the only
right?
way
Like
they can make money because they're not getting paid by anything else. It looks like looking at the article we just read.
No, you got to pay. Yeah, you got to pay out of your own pocket for the.
Exactly. That's the only way the doctors are making money from private stuff like this.
And
tourism.
In Colombia, as in with a lot of countries, I don't know other countries I have not visited, but prostitution is legal. So the prostitutes, the girls are getting their faces, you know, perfected with their money, and then they're making more money, right? Because hey, you know, whatever. So that's a little mini economy lesson I learned over there. And I used to get, believe me, I used to get the drug briefings every time I went over there. Here's a briefing on what's going on in the hills in Medellin and Cali and all that, you know, the cartel and the FARC. Don't forget the FARC, the local that settled with the government about 10 years ago, apparently. They were the big, as they call, boogeyman Marxists out there. They're going to scary and make us share things. I don't know what the fuck they're supposed to do.
No,
anyway, they're supposed to scare
not sharing things.
With their capitalism, you know, the capitalism where we get to keep all the money and tell you what to do. That's a great system, don't you think? Don't you guys think that? Wait, where's everybody? There's your little non sequiturs.
Our non sequiturisms.
I'll have a story updating what the hell Putin's doing. Oh, oops, big oops. What? Well, nice. What's the spin?
It's going to be an associate.
Associate. I sent you a video. You can start it at the beginning and fade it anytime you want to. It's just updating my suing the city of Trinidad story. As to more people are suing the city of Trinidad. This is from DW.com. Romania. I'm just starting to read these names, sorry. Roshni Mujamdar and Dmitro Hubenko have the story about Romania. A Russian drone crashed into a roof in a block of flats in the southwestern Romanian city of Galati, injuring 2 people. The Romania Defense Ministry said in a statement on Friday. During the night of May 28th to 29th, the Russian Federation resumed drone attacks on civilian and infrastructure targets in Ukraine near the river border with Romania. The Romanian ministry said one of those drones entered Romanian airspace, was tracked by radar as far as the southern part of the city of Galati, and crashed into the roof of an apartment building, with the impact triggering a fire.
Great.
So it didn't drop a bomb or anything, it just crashed. It's like, I'm lost, I don't know where to go. Probably the guy controlling lost control. Probably, yeah, clearly lost control of it. It just crashed. The Romanian General Inspectorate for Emergency Situations said the drone hit a 10-story apartment building. The 2 people sustained light injuries, and the apartment building was evacuated. Yeah, there's you just what do you call collateral damage? That's all you are, Romania. Tough shit. You're in the wrong geography, I guess. Russia has repeatedly attacked Ukraine port of Reni in the Danube near Galati amid its war with Ukraine. Yeah, because civilians, they die too. According to authorities, a Russian drone crashed in Galati a month ago, striking out building a residential home. No one was injured. The Romanian Foreign Ministry called the incident a grave and irresponsible escalation for Russia. Romania has informed allies and NATO Secretary General about the circumstances, requested measures to accelerate or transfer anti-drone capabilities to Romania. Good luck. You're not getting any for the United States. we started a foolish, stupid war with Iran that Israel wanted. So we got no capabilities of loaning anybody anything anymore. Romania is a member of NATO and the European Union. So, hey, you got attacked by Russia. Let's fucking do. If this happened in London, what would happen? Oh, let's wait. They're not in the European Union, but they're in NATO. If this happened in Paris, what would the response be? For the, I'm just saying, are we not bombing the shit out of Moscow right now? Where's the apology? Romania is a member of NATO and the European Union, and this is the latest case of NATO member country reporting violations by Russia, drones and jets. In recent months, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said she has 3 different last names. Von der Leyen said Russia had crossed yet another line after one of his drones began its breach Russian airspace. Again, this time we really mean it. We're really, really bad. We stand in full solidarity with Romania and its people. She said on X, as we continue to strengthen our security and deterrence, especially on our eastern border, we will keep increasing the pressure on Russia. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said the alliance would defend every inch of its territory and vowed absolute solidarity. Oh, Rutte? R-U-T-T-E?
Previous Dutch Prime Minister.
Oh, he's a Dutch guy. All right. Yeah. With Romania. Sorry. He has a resolute solidarity, an absolute solidarity with Romania. Russia's reckless behavior is dangerous to us all, he said on the social media. We will continue to strengthen our deterrence and defense at home and continue to support Ukraine as defend against Russian aggression, he said with words. Words really effective because Putin gives a fuck about your words, right? And another drone, a separate incident, a drone without an explosive charge was found near Baia Mare in northwestern Romania. The area was secured according to late Thursday report by TVR. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Drones hitting you everywhere. Citing local authorities. Authorities are investigating the drone's origin and how it ended up in the area. According to the report, the drone had a wingspan of about 3 meters or 10 feet. Meanwhile, local authorities in Ukraine's southern Odessa region announced on Telegram, the social media platform, that drones had struck the Izmail port area overnight. According to the post, one of the drones got struck in a power line, temporarily cut off electricity. As the drone war continues in our horrible present day of warfare for stupid reasons that nobody understands, because most of us aren't greedy. And there's your story.
That can't be true.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if I was greedy, I'd be rich. That just goes without saying. Associate you have. Associate or associate.
You actually reminded me of an interesting fact. You always talk about politicians in the United States like I know who they are, right? And then you just talked about people I've been talking about for years, like Derlea and Mark Rutte. Both of those people, yeah. I know who they are because I live here in Europe, so that's why I associate this with. Yeah, I assume you know who I'm talking about. You assume who I know what you're talking about. We both don't know who we're talking about.
Yes, I understand that completely. But yeah. You're probably less likely to understand the athlete because at least at least most of the people I talk about in the political light are in the headlines all the time.
Yeah, but I don't see those headlines. Because I don't live in that country. That's what I'm saying. But I see headlines about Mark and Ursula all day long. They're always in the headlines because Ursula's the president. Mark and Ursula. She's the current ruler of the Commission, the European Commission, which is basically like the Speaker of the House. Or the
Mark and Ursula sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S.
Mark Rutte is just the ambassador for NATO or whatever. Diplomatic ambassador.
And speaking of acronyms, as we segue to the next story, CIA and the FBI have a story on NPR. There's your acronyms. We're talking about NATO. NPR has a story from Bill Chappelle. It's about a CIA guy getting arrested. Former CIA guy who was planning some kind of shit. Like I'm saying, if you got gold bars, maybe, I don't know. What are you doing with gold bars other than holding on to them? They're kind of heavy. You can't just move them around. Anyway, he was caught with a lot of them and millions in cash. Bill Chappelle of NPR has a story. Ooh, there's a picture of the guy. Hasn't found his razor. Many people in the workplace struggle with expense reports and imposter syndrome. And then, according to the FBI, there's David J. Rush, a former CIA official, is accused of taking gold bars and bulk cash to his Virginia home, while also allegedly lying about his education and military service, according to federal court records. Rush, a former senior executive service-level CIA employee in Virginia. I like how I say Virginia. Langley, Virginia? I mean, we know where CIA headquarters is. You don't have to frickin' put up a fucking screen. Hey, just for a clue, every secret police organization in the entire world knows where CIA headquarters is in Langley, Virginia. It's not a mystery. It's not a mystery, folks. You can just tell us. Anyway, he's a former CIA employee in Virginia. He was arrested on May 19th after FBI agents searched his home, seized more than 301 kilogram gold bars. What's a kilogram gold bar worth? I don't know, $1 million each. Oh, I heard. Anyway, 300 of them are valued at $40 million. So do the math. 40 divided by 300 is $130,000 each. According to the affidavit from FBI Special Agent Matthew T. Johnson, who works for the Counterintelligence Division, FBI's Washington field office. FBI agents also seized approximately $2 million in United States currency. Is it illegal to have currency in your house now? I'm so confused by this. I can't have gold bars and I can't have currency in my house? Or is it just that they
That's how the government controls us, man.
I'm so confused why I can't have $2 million in my house. Isn't that my money to do what I want to with it? Oh, you didn't declare it on your taxes. Maybe I did. How do you know where I earned it? All right, you got serial mark. Oh, that $1 went to him that day. Government overreach. It's my money. It's
just some way to control drugs or something, you know? It's
right.
And that's the excuse they'll use anyways. Oh, well, you could be a drug peddler.
Probably, but I'm just saying, is there a limit?
Isn't it funny that we have the right to innocent until guilty, but when it comes to making government regulation, you must be doing a crime if you're breaking a law.
How much cash can I keep at my house?
I need to know.
Because I'm serious. I can own a house worth $2 million, but I can't have $2 million? That makes no sense. I'm just going to ask the internet. Okay, don't answer me. It just gives me the question again. I don't need to have bank statements. That's stupid. It says, oh, you must have a lot of bank statements. Why? Who says I had to go through a bank to get that money? Anywho.
Hey, can you give me your bank statement on when you took this money out of your bank account so that I can show my taxes that you... No, I'm saying if you gave me $50, you would have to prove that you got that $50 from a bank. I have to ask you for an invoice of the $50 you took out of your bank account. That's crazy.
Yeah, but if you get paid in cash, you got to provide a receipt that you got paid in cash. That's true. You got to provide that for the IRS. Finally, FBI agents seized approximately 35 luxury watches, many of which were Rolex brands. So there's no limit on how much money you can keep in your house. Long story short, you just got to have some kind of receipt for why you got a whole shitload of money. Rush, who is listed as living in Ashburn, Virginia, is charged with a felony count of theft of public money. According to court documents, he remains in custody of the U.S. Marshal Service after his request for release on bond was denied. He has not entered a plea. Rush's defense attorney declined to comment. Federal court records show that Rush was waived a preliminary hearing and was scheduled for detention in Alexandria. So he's in the Northern Virginia CIA jurisdiction, looks like, not Langley. But Magistrate Judge William E. Fitzpatrick agreed to a request from both sides of the case to postpone the hearing to the morning of June 5th. The CIA says it's informed the FBI is suspicious about Rush, who apparently fell under scrutiny after being asking for gold bars last November. That seems like a normal request. That's when he began making several requests to obtain significant quantity of foreign currency and tens of millions of dollars in gold bars for work-related expenses, according to the affidavit. The affidavit, after a CIA internal investigation identified potential violations of the law, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, oh God, that guy's running the CIA. He's a typical Trump. This is another Trumpster with no brains. Referred to the information as an FBI for law enforcement investigation. A CIA spokesperson told the NPR via email. A review of the storage space Rush used at the CIA found that only part of the cash was there. The agency's inquiry into the matter is ongoing, but has yet to found any record of why Rush said he needed a massive amount of money. We'll find out, I guess. The FBI, maybe not. I don't know. FBI affidavit accused Rush of taking gold bars of currency, making false statements to the agency on national security background forms, and filing fraudulent time cards. I guess they're going after him for a bunch of stuff. Rush enlisted. This is Rush holds a top secret, secure compartmented information clearance, or a SCI. It's one of your top ones, according to the FBI affidavit. But the agency alleges that beginning with Rush's successful 2009 CIA job application, he fabricated academic and military achievements that helped him attain a status, and as a result, earn his higher wages. Again, so he lied on his job application. Again, if you're the CIA and you're letting people lie in your job application, how are you the CIA again? Aren't you supposed to be intelligent? That thing in the middle, that intelligence agency. You can't even screen your own employees? Oh my Lord. Rush enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1997 and was later commissioned as an ensign in U.S. Navy Reserves after providing a transcript showing he earned an undergraduate degree from Clemson University. The affidavit states, in 3 different applications that joined the CIA, he claimed to have attained an undergraduate degree from Clemson, along with a master's degree from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute and other credentials. But this spring, registrar's office with Clemson RPI told the FBI that institutions had no record of Rush ever attending classes there. I think this guy's a Russian agent. He's just letting him slip through. Yeah, or somebody's agent. Somebody planted him. You idiots. How do you not check your own employees and give them a top secret STI clearance? I couldn't get that, and I'm clean as a whistle. My God. Similarly, Rush's alleged claims that he was a military pilot and served prominent related roles were undermined by records showing he never underwent any evaluations as a pilot and does not hold a pilot's license. Yeah, CIA. So 2009, apparently. 2009, we can't blame Obama because he had just taken office. So 2009, the CIA had absolutely no way of background checking people, right? None. That seems hard to swallow. I think this guy's a double agent. Let's have us associate with this. If you ever known any CIA guys that turned out to be complete phonies. Sounds like a double agent. They're getting them for the wrong thing.
My associate here is that somebody knew someone's brother or uncle or something got a job. That's what's nepotism. This is just nepotism.
It sounds.
You can't have somebody so underqualified, right? It can be nepotism and a Russian spy. It can be both, right? They use the nepotism to get in. I'm just saying this sounds like nepotism.
A lot of things.
Hands down. You have to be so underqualified.
It could be a lot of things. I'm not discounting that. However, the most obvious answer is somebody on the inside did not do the background check, because why? They're also a Russian agent or whatever, right? And they've been there since when? Who knows? We act like the George Bush administration was fully competent. That's not the truth. He had 8 years to fuck up the country, and by the end of 2008, just totally fucked up the country. The CIA was hiring people from whatever backgrounds because somebody at the CIA in charge of doing background investigation was also a foreign agent. That's my take from it.
Nepotism.
Nepotism and CIA, that would seem far-fetched.
I mean, having a guy who's breaking all the rules is far-fetched too.
Well, I'm saying you can have an opinion without information. I can too. So there you go.
All right, let's roll our next segue. Listen to this nice jazz track.
Yeah, just that's a 5-minute video I sent you. You don't watch the whole thing. You get the gist of it at the beginning, I think. Some pilot
Okay,
stuff
hypothetical.
Oh.
For culture news.
I got some weak spins today, man. I'm kind of disappointed. All right, go ahead. Hypothetical.
This is news coming out of the old, I guess, silent film era. This is from Pamela Hutchinson on The Guardian. The comedy legend Harpo, who adopted his silent persona because of stage nerves, did occasionally address his audience, as revealed by a new archive release. Groucho was the cigar-chomping wit with the improbable mustache. Chico was the piano-playing rustic grifter, and Zeppo Zeppo played the straight man and the lover. But as any Marx Brothers fans know, Harpo was the pantomime, who cracked up the audience without saying a word, dressed in his tattered raincoat and curly wig. His persona was childlike and mischievous, but also musical. He let his harp and his taxi horn do the talking. But now we get to see, or rather hear, a new side of Harpo Marx. A very special recording has been unearthed of Harpo in 1964 speaking to an audience in character. Arthur Harpo Marx was born Adolf Marx in New York in 1888, way before World War II, so it's not his fault that he was named Adolf. He started performing with his brothers in 1910, also way before World War II, and his nickname probably came about because of the instrument of choice. He was an entirely...
That's absolutely 100% incorrect. That is, I will tell you the story. Go ahead.
Okay. He was an entirely self-taught musician. By 1915, due to his nerves around speaking on stage, Harpo reinvented himself as a mute clown and stayed that way even when he was offered $50,000 to speak a single word, murder, in the Marx Brothers film A Night at Casablanca, 1946. Harpo did sometimes speak in it to his live audiences, says historian Robert Bader, author of 4 of the 3 Musketeers, The Marx Brothers on Stage. There's a book for you to read. If the audience was good, or if he thought it was a great show, or the mood struck him. Author of 4 of the 3 Musketeers, The Marx Brothers on Stage.
Oh, I'm reading an audiobook, which I'm almost halfway done with, is Harpo Marx's autobiography. So it's full of all the actual facts. So I can correct whatever this author gets wrong. Sorry, go ahead.
If the audience was good, or if he thought it was a great show, or the mood struck him, he would come out and do his speech. These monologues were known as Red's speech, and in the 1920s, famous wit Alexander Woolcott wrote Harpo some bespoke lines, turning it into a very loquacious, crazy speech with all these fancy words in it with that Harpo himself would never have used. Harpo would step forward, unfurl an oversized scroll, and begin chattering away. He had a very soft-spoken way of speaking, remembers his son Bill Marx. One of his great joys was returning to his childhood, and he comes out in the way he speaks. But these monologues, like the speeches he made for charitable causes, were never recorded. He had a lovely voice, says Bader. He should have had done more. His lines for years was, "I don't want to tear down a character that it took me decades to build." But when he went and did this in front of an audience, he did it for charity. In the early 1960s, Harpo officially retired 3 times due to his health, but couldn't resist performing. Bader says he was always looking for a loophole to get back on stage, arguing that charity gigs didn't really count as work. Harpo was always trying to play the angle where he wanted to go out and perform in front of people without saying it was work. Adverts for his particular fundraiser from the Riverside Symphony Orchestra in Southern California in March '64 promised that the 75-year-old Harpo would speak, which was bound to get public's attention. Harpo Marx will narrate Prokofiev's Peter and the Wolf in a version written by himself and Groucho. After the musical portion of the show, including the Toy Symphony and 2 songs arranged by Bill, Harpo stepped up to the lectern and said, "Believe it or not, I'm going to talk." That day, to an audience full of children, Harpo narrated Peter and the Wolf, which, as Bill Marks explains, as a family favorite, that's his return to childhood. He loved that story. Harpo also delivered a read speech, mentioning two of his sons who were there that night. He also included topical references to the Republican primaries that were in full swing. That was his brother's influence, says Botter. Harpo never wrote his politics on his sleeve, but Groucho did. You can also sense Harpo responding to the audience, improvising a little. What was not advertised was that this time there would be a microphone to record Harpo's voice. And of course, one knew it would be his final public. No one knew that would be his final public performance. Harpo died 6 months later in September. That's what makes this discovery on these tapes so special. They were found almost by accident, labeled with an entirely different show. I was almost in tears, says Botter. It was so special for me. It took a lot of technical work to make the recording clear. Harpo wasn't well practiced at staying in the range of the microphone, for one thing, but now the show can be enjoyed, just as it was in 1964. You know, we try to keep the Marx Brothers alive every way we can, says Botter. The people who were longtime Marx Brother fans are going to see a side of him that they weren't aware of. Bill describes the recording as a joy to listen to, a slice of comedic and film and stage history that should endure. He wasn't at the Riverside that night, but he remembers seeing his father perform for the first time at the London Palladium in 1950. Bill Marx is, yet again, the son of Harpo. When he put to work as a 12-year-old prop man, filling the pockets of Harpo's overcoat with all his toys and instruments. That was my first my first introduction to show business and what he did and how he did it. That fact that people adored this man as I still do. So you can listen to, I guess, Harpo Speaks from Ramzur Records. Available June 5th. Yeah, okay. You can save it on Spotify. So we can't hear it just yet.
We can't hear it yet.
You can save it on Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal, whatever weird thing you use, and you can listen to it.
How long is it?
SoundCloud.
How long
I don't know. It doesn't say because I have to. It hasn't released yet.
Really,
but at least it's a whole bedtime story, right? So probably not that long. But he also did a read speech, they said. So it's a recording of him doing a bedtime story and a long speech on a scroll. So it could be 10 minutes, it could be 30 minutes. I have no idea. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no. They didn't say how long it was. They just said it does exist. But there you go. Your culture's some footage they didn't even know existed.
Yeah. I happen to know quite a lot about this, as I mentioned. That I was reading Harpo Marx biography, and the narrator, I'm not reading it, of course. I listen to audiobooks. My eyes get strained real easy. I listen to audiobooks, and the guy narrating it said, I'm going to do my best to sound like Harpo Marx, although no recordings exist of his voice. And now we have one. So I can compare. I can compare his voice to the narrator's voice and find out if that guy was even close to his voice. So there we go. And
pretty cool.
And the non sequitur, I know they didn't spin that, was when you mentioned that how Harpo got his name is completely inaccurate, and he corrected that in his biography, which he wrote, of course, way before he died. So, what did he die? 1964, you said?
Yeah.
He was actually named. All of his brothers and him were named way before they were famous. Way before they were famous. They were a touring act. They were touring like vaudeville act. 1915 is when they got their name at a poker game. As a matter of fact, their mother, they were children. All of them were children when he went on the road. Their mother was the one taking them on the road, right? He was just taking them on the road. She moved them from New York to Chicago. Like they bought a house in Chicago because they were going to be on the road in the Midwest making money. So they moved all of their operation to Chicago. I mean, she was legitimately, their parents was real into the show business thing. And they were playing poker one night with this guy named Art Fisher, and he named all of the Marx Brothers. He named Groucho, Zeppo, Chico, Harpo, and don't forget Gummo, the fifth one who never really made it in the movie. He never really appeared in it, but he was a stage act guy. And like you said, that is true. That part is true about him not wanting to talk on stage. His unbearable stage fright kept him from talking. And that's basically it. That's all there is to it. And the thing about learning the self-taught, not necessarily self-taught musician. His brother Chico was a self-taught pianist who make a lot of money playing piano and at pool halls, and actually like to gamble and made a lot of money playing pool too. Chico was a real operator. Chico was a ladies' man. He was the guy who was on the make all the time. Anyway, so Harpo was kind of a tag along, learned how to play piano from Chico. And of course, the chords just transfer to a harp, just do the chords. And he didn't learn to read music. He just learned that makes that noise, that makes that noise.
Yeah.
And if you look at a piano, what's inside a piano is a freaking harp. You just hitting a harp, right? You just hitting a harp.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my stupid little non sequitur hypothetical thing. Wasn't hypothetical. Hypothetically, he got his name from playing the harp. The harp came way later than the name. The name came before the harp. He didn't know shit about a harp, couldn't afford a harp. How the hell is a poor family traveling the country? Is it traveling no place, right? Living in train stations a lot of times. Like, we're in a train station today for a week because we're waiting for that next train. They didn't have money for a harp. Who's going to throw a harp around the country? No, his name came before the harp. Came before the harp. It was just a happy coincidence. Actually, I think his mom may have said, "Hey, your name's Harpo. Play the harp. That's going to be great for the act." There you go. Mom's a genius.
My next segue is an accurate metaphor and simile.
Accurate metaphor for your this day in history.
Day in history. Did I already put the video in? I don't remember.
We'll have a show Monday morning. Tuesday, no show. Wednesday is up in the air because I don't know what my sleeping arrangements are going to be at this moment. So let's do Fridays, this day in history. We'll go all the way back to May.
I'll just do the show 29th. Without you. You just send me the news stories. I'll cover all the news stories, including the ones you want. I'll just talk to myself and pretend to be you.
I'll send you some pre-made videos.
It'll be my own comedy show.
pre-made video. I'll send you some train travel videos to say, here I am, this station here. I mean, the train stops in Chicago for me to get off, but it's probably between DC and Chicago, probably stops 100 times. I don't know. In 1453, Constantinople and the Byzantine Empire fell to the Ottomans. And again, if you're losing to a bunch of footstools, I'm not even exactly sure how good your arm is. 1453. Yeah.
That's a dad joke right there.
Never stops. 1658, the Battle of Samagr, with an H at the end, was fought in the contest for the throne between the sons of the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan and following Emperor serious illness, September 1657. Of course, the all probably descended of everybody's favorite, what do you want to call it, progenitor, Genghis Khan. The person who initiated your genetic whatever, most of you people in that whole part of the country related to Genghis Khan. 1736, orator Patrick Henry is born in Studley, Virginia. And if you're born in Studley, Virginia, you say things like, "Give me liberty or give me death, because I'm from Studley." That's right. Now, 1848, Wisconsin. Wisconsin became a state, the 30th state. So the United States flag makers went, damn, we got to change the flag again. Put a 30th star on there. Is anybody else getting a star? Anybody else? Missouri? Kansas? I don't know who was next. Like Kansas or Missouri was next. Something like that. Missouri might have been a state already. But Wisconsin became the 30th state in 1848. Scotty, which at that point was what do you want to call it? I want to call what do you want to call it? The frontier. Wisconsin was a frontier in 1848. My first ancestors to get to Wisconsin was probably Alexander Stewart, probably right after the Civil War, or during the Civil War, 1860s. I want to say 1864 or something like that. So Wisconsin was a state, and 1848. So this is the anniversary. What year would that make it? 52 plus 26 is 78. 178 years old for Wisconsin.
Wow.
1860. Composer and virtuoso pianist Isaac Albinez was born in Camprodon, Spain. Albinez. That guy. 1905, the Russian Navy was defeated in the Battle of Tsushima during the Russo-Japanese War. Japan, Russia losing wars all over the place, man. Jeez. 1942, American singer and actor Bing Crosby recorded the holiday classic White Christmas. Became one of the all-time best-selling singles of all time. Of course, it wasn't released in May. It was just recorded in May. I got an idea for a song in May. White Christmas, written by Irving Berlin. 1999, Discovery became the first space shuttle to dock with the International Space Station as we started cooperating with the Russians. Yay! That lasted until, Putin became a dickhead. Well, we still cooperate with him in space. We have to.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no politics in space. You need to let this shit alone. 2017, Panamanian military leader Manuel Noriega ruled Panama. Died at the age of 83. Speaking of people we ousted from power, CIA, we were speaking about the CIA earlier. CIA propped up Manuel Noriega for years and years and years and years and years. And he said, you know what? I'm United States protection. I'm going to take over the whole country. And the United States said, no. That's not what we're doing here. We weren't doing that. We were bribing you and giving you stuff for insider information and stuff like that. We don't want you to run things. You're stupid. Noriega, you're a stupid man. And again, he was really stupid. He misinterpreted our intentions. Like, no. You're going to be our puppet or you're going to be nothing. He didn't understand that part. Anyway, we straightened him up pretty quick, but it took a whole lot of Marines. In 1953, this date, Mount Everest summit reached by Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, the Sherpa, or however you pronounce it. Following numerous failed attempts, Edmund Hillary, I think, is still there, and Tenzing Norgay became the first climbers to summit Mount Everest, the highest mountain in the world, on this day in 1953. Yippity fucking do. An accomplishment that does nothing for me whatsoever. It never has and it never will. I don't care. I will never care about somebody climbing a frickin' rock. Not impressive. You got a lot of money and a lot of time on your hands. Good for you.
It's not a rock. It's the actual crust being tossed into the sky by colliding tectonic plates, man.
You're right. It's billions of rocks. I stand corrected. Our feature biography is JFK, John F. Kennedy's birthday. Happy birthday to Mr. JFK, who was born on May 29th, 1917 in Brookline. We know where he died and when he died, so we'll not get into that. And 1736, Patrick Henry's birthday. We did that already. It's Bob Hope's birthday. Bob Hope was born on his birthday was the day that Bing Crosby recorded White Christmas. That's interesting because they were like best friends. I don't know if they were best friends, but they sure were in a lot of movies together. 1874, G.K. Chesterton, British author. Chester Chesterton should be his real name. His brother Chester. British author G.K. Chesterton. That sounds like a made-up name. I'm sorry. He was born in 1874. And we remembered Carmelo Anthony, American basketball player, born in 1984. He came in the NBA the same year as LeBron. I think Carmelo's been retired for like 10 years now. LeBron's still, for some reason, playing. I have no fucking idea. Apparently, he just thinks he can't do anything else with his life. He's just still playing basketball. Okay, LeBron. You guys are going to play till your grandkids are in the NBA? Yeah, I don't know. LeBron James, buddy Carmelo Anthony, birthday, 1984, so he's turned... LeBron's probably 4 years younger because he never went to college. Well, no, he's only maybe 1 year younger because Carmelo only went to 1 year of college. So that probably... Carmelo Anthony should have stayed in college, man. He won the championship as a freshman at Syracuse, and then he would turn pro. He should have stayed. Maybe Syracuse would have been a powerhouse. Anyhow, there's your birthdays. A national day calendar is kind of pathetic for a Friday, if you ask me. Very pathetic. National Paperclip Day, whoopee. Like, woo. National 529 Day has something to do with education history, and I refuse to celebrate something as idiotic as 529 Day. Like I read at the beginning, it's stupid. Remind families and friends that it's never been easier to help save for a child's future. Absolute, complete fucking lie. How the hell has it always never been easier? Oh my God. Anyway, plus it's National Coq Day. So it's all those things. We had no haikus, we had no limericks today, but we sure had a lot of stories and a lot of sidebars and things.
Sidebars?
Me. Sidebars, that's me. I just keep talking about stuff that has nothing to do with anything. Oh, possums eating bananas was a video I was going to do. We're going to do something else. And that's it for May 29th, 2026 on Before Coq Van. And if you wonder what Coq Van is, I know what it is. It's chicken. It's chicken. And it's spelled
chicken.
C-O-Q. It's a word I keep forgetting in Words with Friends. I need to remember that one. C-O-Q. A-U.
Isn't it like
Coq Van.
Like the Q is silent? Like it's just
No, it's pronounced Coq Van.
Like croquette?
Coke.
Like how you say croquette?
No, it's Coq Van. Pronounced Coq Van, man. So the Q is not silent. Where's that A sound coming from? C-O-Q-A-U-V-I-N. It's 3 different words. Coke.
I never learned French.
Van. Delicious French known as coq au vin. Join us with a share of this French.
Why is it Von when it's an I-N, though? Shouldn't coq au vin? Why is it Von?
Hey, look, man, that's how I
don't understand French. I don't understand French.
I'm not the French instructor.
French is a lot like Spanish, except for that they decide to erase half of the vowels and sounds inside of their words. That's your metaphor. My confusion with French is boundless.
Nothing like French or Spanish, or it's neither here nor there. The recipe
nothing like
is
speaking
chicken.
Dutch and then suddenly getting hit by a French word. I'm just doing my segues because you're going on a tangent about chicken.
Yeah. I was just gonna read the recipe and finish it up. Chicken, cooked wine, ludens, salt pork, mushrooms, and garlic is more than a delicacy. Now I'm done. Now you can say whatever you want.
Mushrooms. It looks like there's carrots in this picture. And some rosemary.
I don't think there's mushrooms.
Not in it though. Well, the picture I see, there's mushrooms. Those are definitely mushrooms and carrots.
Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I don't know what those are. If there aren't mushrooms.
That's it for now. We're in the station. If you're on the train, look around your seat, see if you got all your belongings. If you had anything in the above luggage compartments, get that too. This train is not going anywhere till Monday. So if you want to spend the weekend here, it's going to be locked up.
In our international UN observances, we have International Day of UN Peacekeepers. These are the people who go to places and say, hey, stop bombing Ukraine or something. They're just diplomats. They can't do much else. And they also go there to make sure that people don't start a war. So, for example, there is a plan to have some UN peacekeepers in Ukraine if they ever end the war there. So to make sure Russia doesn't attack again, because it didn't work before, right? With Crimea, they attacked Crimea, took it, and then they attacked Ukraine again.
Here's what a diplomat is. Here's what a diplomat is. If he disagrees with what you're saying, he goes and goes, that's bullshit. He goes, I don't see it that way. That's what a diplomat does.
It's also into International Day of Potato. Sorry, I can't read because my eyes are all blurry. I'm getting old.
Potato.
International Day of Potato. So celebrate the most invasive plant in the world, next to tomatoes, probably. Because potatoes are actually an American plant. Fun fact.
Power a clock with a tomato.
They did not.
Yeah, you can power a clock with a tomato.
Oh, maybe they didn't.
Yes,
maybe they didn't exist. They only existed in America. Like the potato you could eat. I think in Europe they had potatoes, but they would poison and kill you, supposedly. But now it's all over, from the Andes to Africa, Europe, and Asia and beyond. Everyone loves a potato. That is tomorrow.
Especially worms below the surface.
That's tomorrow on Saturday, and then on Sunday it is No Tobacco Day. That's right. Stop smoking tobacco. It's not good for you. Smoking in general is terrible for you. Yeah. And it's a huge epidemic. It affects not only yourself, but it affects people around you with secondhand smoke and children. I'm still convinced I have asthma because of the million of smokers that I hung out with as a child. So
I got a friend who tried to stop smoking. He tried the nicotine patch. He tried the gum. And you know what he did? He found out that chewing the gum, putting on the patch, and smoking the cigarettes is the biggest high he ever got. So there you go.
Right. And it's also still week of solidarity with peoples of non-self-governing territories, at least until Sunday. So keep on giving your solidarity to those people who live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean and don't self-govern. It's mostly people who live in the Pacific Ocean. Like a lot of island people are just like, yeah, we're a territory of another country.
Yeah, we did that already. The Marshall Islands, they matter, damn it. Even though they're sinking, but yeah, they still matter.
But that has been Allison here from the Netherlands and Roger from the East Coast of the U.S. as we tie up another week, our final week of May, going into the prime time, summertime. Make sure you stay cool, drink that water, wear that sunscreen, and we will see you on Mucking Fun Day for our Monday news, which means don't look at that news. No doom scrolling over the weekend. We will cover you all the news you might have missed on Monday. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the Before Coffee podcast channel on YouTube. Follow us on the same name on Twitch. Thank you everyone who's already supporting us, and of course our Patreon supporters under the Before Coffee tier. And here is our dirty water mic drop moment. Dirty water.
The Texas mayor wants the Texas Rangers to investigate after complaints about water quality.
That dirty
Sadly,
water.
the Texas Ranger died, so I guess that's why they're not covering it. There's a joke for you.
This is all happening in Trinidad. Population about 800.
He said they're asking the Texas Rangers to look into the water issue. I'm like, oh, unfortunately, the Texas Ranger died.
That triggered free speech concerns. A woman arrested for posting about the
well,
city's
water
water issues, and a man for protesting her
My video
arrest.
sounds great.
Well, now 2 city employees are suing the city for wrongful termination. One
you can pull up the live stream,
who says she refused to lie for city leaders. Fox 4's David Centennial has been following this story from the very beginning, breaking all of the information.
I mean, we mostly already covered the story. This is just more people, right?
David.
Well, yeah. This is the other people. Actually, people that work for the city are suing, not just citizens. So, yeah, we're being.
This is where the water goes right before the water tower.
Silenced there. We're being silenced there.
You've likely heard
that
concerns
looks
regarding
drinkable.
City of Trinidad's water under investigation by the Texas
Free
Commission
root beer
on
in my
Environmental
sink.
Quality.
I've never felt safe to drink the water.
It's
Alex
Yoo-hoo coming out of a
several
tab.
maintenance roles for the
What are we
city
paying
for
taxes
more
for?
than
We can't even
30
drink our
They
freaking
maintain the
water.
lines correctly, in my opinion.
Now,
Don't
Estrada
forget,
and
they
his
had
sister,
2
the
weeks
city's
after
water
this, they had
clerk,
a
filed
boil your
federal
water
lawsuit
notice.
claiming
Yeah, but there's
they
no
were
problem with
fired
water.
on the very
Why are
same
we having to
morning
boil
without
it?
any legitimate cause.
Wow,
Because the water
illegal
clerk
firing.
refused to lie on behalf of Police Chief Charles Gregory and City Administrator.
There is also
Yeah,
a thing.
name and shame
Did
this
not respond
dude.
to Fox 4's request
Bully.
for comment. The lawsuit
governmental
claims she said this
fascist.
to the siblings.
I'm firing him, and honey, I'm firing you too. You are done here.
Just last week, Fox
Very
4
same
interviewed
morning.
Jennifer
Fired
Jones,
for
charged
being
with felony
related
false
to
alarm
the
or
person
report
who
by Trinidad Police
Right,
Department.
he's not even fired for
Facebook
doing his
post
job right.
in
He's
which
fired
she
because
said she
his
received reports
sibling
people were
also
hospitalized
was
from
getting
the water.
fired. That's not a reason to
According
fire
jury,
someone
no
because
bill
your
her
sibling's
case
getting
dismissing
fired.
the charge. We
I don't
still
know if
do
you ever
not know
lost
if
a job,
anyone's
but
been
it's no fucking
hospitalized, but
joke to
Combs'
lose your
arrest
job,
sparked
right? You had
freedom of
plans, your
speech
family had
concerns
shit
from people all across the country.
this summer. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, We're unemployed. No plans.
Winston Knowles,
Tough shit.
who
That shit you want to do this
protested
summer,
outside
kitty?
Trinidad City Hall
Kids,
with a
we
sign
can't do it. I got
reading,
fired from my job for
"Expletive,
being
bad cops,"
correct and
while
right.
Trinidad police
Yeah,
arrested
fuck bad
Knowles for
cops.
disorderly conduct.
This is the wrong reasons that the city's on
He's
the map
taking a
for.
shower.
Now, Estrada's lawsuit claims
You're
Yeah,
arrested.
Washington,
Oh, my
like that.
feelings got hurt. I better put you in jail.
The water clerk had been frightened by Knowles.
Somebody
The
said,
basis
"Fuck
for Knowles'
me."
charge.
That's
water
what the
clerk,
cops are
however,
doing
stated
in
writing
freaking
that she was
Trinidad,
never offended
Texas.
by Knowles. The city's municipal judge dismissed the charge.
Yeah, I think this
and
guy
days later,
intentionally wanted to get
Estrada and his
arrested
water
for
clerk's
sure.
sister
Just
were
be,
fired.
you know, again, you get arrested on
Statement.
your protester.
Yeah.
That's part of it, right? That's just
That's
part
a
of it.
statement,
I
yeah.
believe we need an outside agency.
And of course,
to look at what's
if
going
anybody's
on
got bail money for this
Law
guy or
enforcement
whatever
agency?
fine he
Yes.
has to pay,
Trinidad
just
Mayor Dennis
send him
Hawes,
money.
speaking
Yeah,
of
Jesus
everything
There really
that's been
are.
going on
They really
in
are going to
Trinidad.
call in the
We need
Texas
somebody to come
Rangers, a
here
third
that is
party.
independent from all that. And take a look at this whole situation.
Can't get paid off by the
Rangers.
freaking.
Texas Rangers would be a perfect.
Yeah, take
group
over
to
to
come in
take
here.
over a
Fox
local
4
government,
obtained
Texas
documents from the
Rangers,
Henderson
because these
County
guys are
District
just
Attorney
incompetent
and County
fucks.
Attorney.
They
I
just
love how
caring
this
about
news story
Attorneys
keeps
about
blasting
credibility
this.
concerns with
This police
Gregory.
officer's
In
face on
2022
this story.
and 2024. Allegations that Gregory, while at a different department, made false
mayor is
statements
not
to an
all for
officer
it. The
who
mayor's
was
like,
then an
"No,
officer
man, this
with
is
the
not
Trinidad Police
right."
Department. Chief Gregory has turned down Fox 4's
But I think
multiple
this is the
reports
state
on
police,
abuse
maybe. I
since
don't
his
know.
department charged Combs and
I think
Knowles.
he looks a lot like
He's
that
going
guy
to
that
have to,
arrested
at some point,
Afro Man.
make some sort
Or,
of
I'm
Isn't
sorry,
it
Church's
crazy how
house.
punchable some
I
police
wonder if he
officers
likes-
can look?
On
I wonder why
Thursday,
that
Trinidad
is.
City Council is
I wonder
scheduled
if he
to
likes
debate
lemon pound
firing its
cake.
newly hired city attorney and its municipal judge, who dropped the charge against
You're playing the whole
Knowles.
video, huh?
Mayor Hawes questions council's
Yeah, I
just
am.
blasting
This is
his-
very
That's our
serious.
focus, and that's what we're going
Yeah,
to put
no,
out
it's just
there.
And also, the mayor
for
needs more
everybody
press
that's
because
watching
he's actually
instead of
trying to
dealing
do
with
shit
water,
about it.
Dealing with the water.
While
Yeah, he
Fox
can only
4
do so
continues
much.
to receive images of discolored and murky
I
water,
can't cancel
GFA
arrest
Law
warrants.
and
I can't. I'm
Consumer
the mayor.
Wellness
I'm the
Center
guy,
labs
you know,
are organizing
tells
free
the water
independent
bureau
water
that,
testing
hey, you guys get your shit together.
for people
I
on
don't even
Trinidad.
think you
Something
can
happened.
fire.
There's
I don't
not
even think you can
enough
fire the police
smoke
as the mayor.
that we need
Yeah,
to
you
find
sure
out if there's a fire.
So it's
No,
your
no,
belief
not
that
the
the water
mayor, no.
inside these
No,
tanks and then the
This-
water
but-
tower is fine, but it's
yeah.
after.
Isn't
Sheriff
the
was
attorney
elected
general in
underground
charge of the
system,
sheriff and
that's
stuff?
where
Or the
something's going
police?
on.
Yeah.
Or I guess the sheriff
Whatever
is in
the
charge.
cause, Estrada and
Gonna
others
give
believe
1,000
the
people,
ripple
you think they
effect
got an
might
attorney
continue
general?
to expand.
Oh,
This is
Attorney General of
sad,
the
the way
state
Trinidad's going.
is Ken Paxton, that
That was
guy.
a fancy
Are you
tub.
Chief Gregory says he
faucet.
still
And,
hopes
like,
to
I really like
discuss
that
the
faucet.
situation with us, but his reason for not doing an interview,
Yeah, it's
he's
fancy
citing
for,
those
like,
pending lawsuits that have been filed against
multicolored
him and the
water
city.
coming
The
out.
mayor wants
She's
anyone
changing.
with an
It's
interest in
changing
this to
shades.
show
It's
up to tonight's
because,
city council meeting
more and
tomorrow.
more.
They gotta make a lot
should
of.
get
Oh, they're having a
lighter.
council
Opens
meeting.
at 6 p.m.
Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons, and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.